So I probably should have started the video with the bracket in place, but you know, hindsight. Anyway, you can see that I'm on it right there. I use that to adjust the height of it, although I've been too lazy because in the summertime I haven't needed any more power. Then it mounts to this, and you can see I made a wooden frame. This is just poplar, and this is a 4-year-old poplar frame that was sitting in the back of a homemade tonneau cover, and it's still doing pretty good. That's how I tied the two panels together. And you can see I've just got them parallel as they're 24 volts. So I'm going to pull those down a second. I've got them hinged right there. That way I can turn around and I can adjust the angle. And then I'm going to put them on a bracket and see if I can't do that with the modern ones. So on to the next step. So for anybody that was thinking of making their own tonneau cover, these were drop-in. So I did like a box so I could drop it in, and then I siliconed around that. So that way if panel broke or had to take it out, or maybe they didn't work, whatever, I could pull them out and I could still use the tonneau cover. So I built this frame, and you can see that there's a little bit of rot, but this was never intended here. You can see the silicone line. This was never intended to sit out. And you can see that I kind of rubberized undercoating. The screws obviously weren't, they were just for the use of this. This really was just a piece. I'm like, you know what, it's sitting around, I'm going to put it up. And to be honest with you, it's worked awesome. You can see running changes. Like this panel's, I don't know, 6 months newer than this panel, I believe. And you know, they always make those running changes, but they seem to be very close in their overall quality of everything. So again, those panels are 5 years old. Those are just the 24 volt NewPowas. I've been very happy with them. So I do plan on bolting through the panel here into this bracket, into the hinge, and then I'm going to put a couple of self-tapping screws that'll go in the base of this. And again, this will be the hinge point. And then I plan on connecting the two panels together here, again via some self-tapping screws. And then same thing for this hinge. This will go in here. I've drilled the holes, and I'll come through there and tie that all together, and then I'll use another bracket to tie somewhere 2/3 up the way. So that way I can tie the two panels together and then have a hinge point to where I can adjust it. So get it bolted up. So I anticipated this being single wall, the aluminum. It ended up being double wall, and I don't want to smash it down because you chance breaking the panel. So I'm gonna have to go get some 1-inch lag bolt, or not lag bolts, but carriage bolts. That's what I'm using. And as you can see, a lot of people be really scared to drill into the side of a solar panel. Totally get that, because you can totally break it. I've done this a couple of times, so I'm not as worried about it. And the beautiful thing about this is you can kind of see through there. You can see the lag tops are not hitting at all. I just need longer so I can actually go through the lock nuts. But again, like I said, I'm going to come down here with a couple of solid self-tappers and adhere it in, as well as it's getting a cross brace up top that's going to help put this in. We've had 50+ mile-an-hour winds. We're in the Maryland area, and I've had no issues so far with the wind or this coming off. It is on top of a catio, but so far so good. So I had to pull the panel off to attach the cross bracing at this top, like 2/3 point. But I just thought I'd take a second to compare. These are 60-watt panels. The other ones are 100-watt panels. And again, yeah, they're different voltages, but I'm going by the watts. So I think it's very impressive to see the small size difference for the 100 watts and to be bifacial. And again, so far, these seem like a real quality product. I'm hoping, I have high hopes, as this is probably the 5th time I've purchased their panels. So pretty excited. I guess we'll see how it works out once I start getting them up. So I will say one thing, that there's quite a bit of residue on these panels. This is not from my fingerprints. I just cleaned this. I was thinking, oh, it's my fingerprints, but no, this is actually silicone from them handling the panels. And I don't know how well the camera's picking it up. It's all over the outside of the thing. So there's some more. Again, that's not handprints. It's handprints, but it ain't mine. So something to be concerned about, and you know, make sure you clean your panels before you put them up, because you obviously want full power. All right, the panels are up and mounted. Time to get some zip ties and clean up my wiring. Luckily, I had a harness to connect the solar connectors to XT60s, which is generally what I use. The XT60 is actually under a waterproofed area, so that should be fine. I do a little dielectric grease in them. And then that's mounted. You can see my crossbar. Hopefully I got enough back sun and it's white, and hopefully that all reflects nicely. I've got my cleanup process to do, but this is also what I do. See my nice catio there. I have multiples of chargers in here. So 40 volt Cobalt, 20 volt Harbor Freight. I got my little 12 volt Bosch. I've got an 80 volt, 60 volt, 8 amp hour battery I'm charging right now for the Greenworks. And then this is my smaller WZRE LB inverter. I believe that's 1200 watts, so I'm definitely pushing the limits of this one, but I've done it before, and so far the thing's done fantastic. It does run a fan pretty good. If you see that number, you can see it's down around 23. Looks like 23.4. Just the sag from the line. It's on 10 gauge wire, but that is coming from my 2000 watt battery bank out there. And then, like I said, you can see I charge a whole multitude of things out here. Not doing this to save money on electric bills, more of an independence type thing. And then my refrigerator is actually right behind this, so if I ever had to run an extension cord in the house, I'd simply do that through the catio, and I could run my refrigerator pretty much for an indefinite amount of time. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out. I left the extra length of the metal bars because I figured why take them off in case I decide to extend it, or I mean, the other ones are only up for a year, so who knows? I might swap them, and you kind of see how they mount up. Overall, I'm real happy with it. It's really interesting to be able to see through it. And while it's clear that way, the way the sun's coming from is actually quite cloudy, so very hazy. I was still doing 100 and some odd watts last I looked. I'll have to take a screenshot of currently what I'm getting, but I am pulling power so I can actually make power. More to come.